Welcome back. You're at Conference Live. I'm here with Justin Segal, the president of Boxer Properties. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Great. Are you seeing anything out on the floor or in the keynotes this year that has been unexpected or interesting?
There's always something here. I think what I'm noticing is a high level of frustration with some problems that seem to be shared by everybody, and it's starting to. I think of it as the backlash against all these different systems that have come up in commercial real estate. So, for a long time, I think the industry was looking for solutions and begging for solutions, and then the solutions arrived, and now we have solution overload. And I've heard this from a number of people is, okay, it's great that we can have an application for this and an application for that, but how do we manage this portfolio? And the portfolio management conundrum seems to be something that a lot of people are feeling.
Interesting. What's the solution?
Well, I think first of all, to the extent that systems can naturally integrate with each other, that's extremely helpful. If they can share data, it's one thing to support an application. To have to give it its own data stream is an absolute nightmare.
Right.
So to the extent that there are APIs out there, that companies are open as to data, I think those are the ones that are going to do very well, and
Right.
We're seeing some companies emerge with that as an important part of their strategy.
Right.
The other part of it is to the extent that you can provide a common interface. So if there's one place that people can go, if they can access information from different places without having to log in to 6 or 7 different systems, because I think of it like we have a certain number of slots available, and after we get past 3 or 4, the likelihood of somebody utilizing it versus utilizing our old friend the telephone it goes down tremendously.
What are some of the solutions out there that you're seeing that are actually able to do what you're talking about? Have that openness, have that level of integration, that level of sort of all-in-one-place simplicity?
Well, 2 standouts, not surprisingly, are the leaders of the pack in the CRM for commercial real estate, and I'm talking about VTS and Hightower, and I've had extensive conversations with each of them, and they have API teams. The APIs are documented. This is the kind of thing we would love to see from the legacy providers as well, and they're starting to. We already, after some conversation, has finally rolled out an API, and I think that's a very good sign.
Really good sign.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the industry trends that are going to affect the way that Boxer does things in the upcoming years?
Well, I think the expectations that our customers have, and I'm using the word customer as opposed to tenant very intentionally, because the old world of just giving somebody a 4 walls and a door doesn't exist anymore. Our customers, they want more. They want pleasant environments, they want technology available, they want to have access to things that will help them grow their businesses, and all of that has a profound impact on the way we operate. It means different jobs, it means different measures of success, and it means getting used to new patterns in the way our organization works.
How has Boxer been responding to that change from tenant to customer?
Well, first of all, we've invested a lot of time and effort in really understanding who our customers are and understanding what they want. So that is a very big difference from Boxer 10 or 15 years ago. Now, the ability to segment our customers and know who's using the space, how they're using it is very different. And we've responded with new designs, new configurations of space, new lease products. We have a variety of options for leases that didn't exist in the past. And it's been a challenge to figure out how to incorporate those into what has always been a relatively staid, conservative business process. Now we have licenses, for example, instead of leases. And the licenses have, they're 30-day licenses like you would sign if you maybe rented a vacation home or something.
Right. Of all of the technologies, which one is making your job the most easy? Making your job easier, which one is making your job easier the most?
Well, we implemented a universal operations platform that has allowed us to really understand what's happening in the organization from a data standpoint. So whereas we used to manage by walking around and kind of putting our eyes on things and hiring people who really had grown up in the industry, and now we're able to understand where our opportunities are by looking at the information. And we have a lot of people who are joining our company, not from the real estate industry, but from industries that are very sophisticated with respect to data and analytics. And it's been a real time saver because we can focus on the areas that need us instead of focusing on everything.
They say adapt or die. What are the key adaptations that companies like yours are going to have to make in the next 5 years?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones is really understanding the nature of the work that we're doing. We used to be in what I would think of as an expert-driven paradigm, where we would need experienced people who had, like I said, kind of grown up in the industry, and you would send them out and they would do their thing. With our industry being disrupted and changing so much, we need people who are problem solvers. We need aptitude, and in many cases, aptitude becomes weighted more heavily than experience. So when we think about the work that our people are doing, is we want to know how good are they at incorporating new things? How good are they at experimenting? Do they understand the difference between failure and success? And are they okay with failure because it happens all the time? Versus someone who has said, well, I've managed a portfolio of this many square feet and dealt with this many tenants. The aptitude is rapidly becoming the first question we ask instead of the last.
When you and I are going to be sitting here, let's say in 2021, what are you going to be telling me about Boxer?
Well, that's a good question. I think I'm going to be telling you about the early days when you and I talked, and we only had 1,300 employees, and we were only in a dozen markets. We've started an international expansion. We have an office overseas now where we do a lot of very interesting things, and who knows? Maybe we'll be running the world.
I'll take it. I'll be here and running it with you, Justin. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you,
Justin from Boxer. Any final? But as we see, we have one more minute left. Any final thoughts about Realcomm 2016 or just the industry?
I would like to say to anybody who's watching this video who's never been to Realcomm, please come next year. It is really a tremendous place, and I think I credit Realcomm with introducing me to a lot of people and concepts that have really transformed our business.
That's terrific. I'm going to make sure that gets reposted because that is exactly what happens here, and it's because of people like you participating as wholeheartedly as you do. Thanks again.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Justin, President and CEO of Boxer Properties.